Good evening, everyone. Time for another silver update. This is the daily chart provided by netdania.com. You can click on the link below. And we got the move I was expecting today. I was expecting a move outside of this gigantic formation. Now, I've drawn an alternative line because you can see the first line that I've been drawing kind of clips the price right there. There's a very good reason I did that, and that's because we get 1, 2, 3, and almost 4 extra touch points when we do it that way. And there's 2 near touch points down here. The other alternative line goes to the very bottom of that, and you can see if we use that line, we have not yet reached that point. We're trading right now at 26.84, and that is through this line, but it's not through the next line. Now, of course, the big line we're looking at here, it's not really a support line as much as it's a line that hasn't been crossed in a long time, and that's the straight level 26 number. If we go through that, there's a couple of support points. One is at 22. This is off the chart because it goes back to the March 2008 time frame. The support right in here you can see is around 20, so we're looking at 22 and 20 if we manage to cut through this. Now, a lot of people are asking, in fact that's the question of the night, so we'll go over there, and that is when to pull the trigger. Hi, Brother John. Today, silver and gold are tanking, and so is the market. I believe this is a good thing because I have a big stack of useless paper money that I'm getting ready to stack again. But the million-dollar question is when? Do you think now, or do you see them going lower? Well, that's a hard question to answer. I've addressed it before. I am, at this point, I usually go with my gut. That's served me well in the past. Right now, my gut is telling me to wait. I want to see a resolution of this 26 line. I want to see if we bounce off this line. And we seem to be selling off in the after hours a little bit more. You can see we're kind of rounding down, still looking very weak. So I am not right now, I do not have an itchy trigger finger. I'm waiting. But I did want to go take a look and do a comparison of, I decided to use, I usually start shopping for deals when we see these types of moves down, but I wanted to find a good basis for comparison as far as how tight things are getting, and that's one of the things I always watch for when the price spikes down, because when that happens, a lot of times the stuff you want to get, you can't get. So a lot of times if you wait for this price here, which was 26 at that time, or 26 here, sometimes when you wait for those prices, you actually find that the inventory isn't there. That happened to me back in 2008. There was a lot of stuff I had my eye on back here in the fall, and I was watching it very closely. I actually pulled the trigger multiple times and kind of rounded this bottom. But there was a lot of stuff that I wanted at that time that actually wasn't available anymore. The 2009 koalas that I did buy at that time were still available. I ended up paying about 14 or 15 bucks for those, even though the price of silver was down below 10. And that's the type of thing you see when you've got an artificially controlled paper price, but the people who have the real physical are becoming more and more reluctant to part with it. Now that's what we're starting to see again, and that's going to be the telltale sign that you want to watch for when it's time to pull the trigger, because you're going to find that the people who have the physical are going to become more and more reluctant to part with it, partly because they're going to be selling at a loss, which is great for you, but also because things are just getting really tight. They're running out of inventory. So the comparison I wanted to do tonight, because it's pretty easy to find it across the board is the 90% silver or the junk silver. Now, of course, the first site I want to go to is the APMEX site. And the reason why is because APMEX is probably the most popular, does the most volume. And you can see here on APMEX site there's not a lot left. There's only 4 bags of the $1,000 face. And the thing that really jumps out at you when you look at this, now, first thing you need to note is that they have them in different denominations. You have a full 1,000 face bag, a 500 face bag, then the 100, and then just $1. Now these prices are consistent here with the between the 715 and the half bag. You can see 10,160 and 20,320. So there's no difference. You get down here to the $100 face bag, and that's the equivalent of 20,400. So that's a little bit higher than that price there. But when we calculate these out, you've got a price of the, let me get my calculator here. You've got a price of the full bag. It has 715 ounces, and you got a price of 20,320 divided by the 715, and you're getting $28.41 an ounce. And that's going to hold for this 715 ounce bag and the half bag. It's even going to be higher for the others. So $28.41. And we have a spot price of $26.85. Now, I followed silver for a long time, and I can tell you in the recent memory, this isn't the 70s or 80s, but in recent memory, I have not seen a near $1.50 plus premium on junk silver, and that's what we're looking at. Normally, junk silver sells at spot and often sells below spot. We're looking at a $1.50 premium on APMEX, and you can see they don't have a lot left. Now, the next site is Gainesville, and you can see Gainesville has even higher at 24.16. We also have a $1.50 price above spot for junk. Now we can't see how many they have at Gainesville. If we go over to Provident, there's actually kind of a deal here, and this is the cash discount price. If we do the math on that one, we've got 19,784 divided by the 715, and we come to 27.66. So with 26.80, we're still an 80-cent premium above spot. And then, of course, the last is going to be Tulving. This is going to be the best deal, and you can see that the 90% just straight random coin bag, their choice, is going to be 45 cents above spot. Now that's a little bit higher than he's been running, but he's been sold out for a while. Still, that's the lowest around. You can see you can get your guaranteed $0.50 for 60 cents above spot, and you can get your walking libs for 70 cents above spot. So that's by far going to be the greatest deal. I don't know how much Tulving has left. So we're starting to see the disconnect that I'm talking about. That's the kind of disconnect you see when the paper pushers of silver force the price down. The people who sell the physical are going to start to be more reluctant, as well as start to run out of inventory. So we may be very close to the pull the trigger point. Sometimes you can't wait too long, because it's quite possible, for example, if we plunged through here and got down to, say, 24, it's quite possible that at 24 or 23 or 22, there won't be any physical for you to buy. Or you may have to buy something that you don't want to buy. Or you may have to pay a premium higher than you expected to pay. So you just have to watch it very carefully And when we get these types of bottoms, that's one of the ways you know you're nearing some kind of bottom is the supply just simply starts to dry up. So let's go over to the topic of the night, and this is going to be a video of your favorite troll and mine, Don Herold. And Don Herold has decided to do an attack video. Now, as you know, I've exposed Don Herold a number of times. I exposed him when he first was a shill on Yahoo, when he had, apparently, I'm just going to assume that he had news ahead of time of the attack against Silver. He mysteriously went from a zero to a hero and was on Yahoo attacking Silver, so pretty suspicious there. And he's been a Silver basher, much like the gold proponents that I exposed last night, who people like Martin Armstrong and others who say they're for gold, and but then you look at their arguments, they turn out to be against gold. People like John Nadler. So Don Herold is another one of those. Try to get some action out of Silver and make something of himself, and then go on the attack. So here he's attacking Mike Maloney, and we'll listen to a little bit of it so you can get the gist, and then I'll jump in.
Look at the slogan for goldsilver.com. Price means nothing. Wow! I mean, you gotta have some serious confidence to tell people that when you buy something, price means nothing. I mean, that is unbelievable. I gotta tell you something. I don't care whether it's silver or whether it's gold, or whether it's a car, or a college education, or a house, or a sack of potatoes at the grocery store. Price means everything. Price is literally the only consideration that you've got. Now, the reason I know this is true, and I'm getting off on a tangent here, because if you call Mike Maloney and you tell Mike Maloney when you want to sell your silver back to him, hey Mike, price means nothing. Pay me more than spot price for my silver. They will laugh and laugh and laugh until they're done laughing, and then you'll have to either come down on what you want for your silver or they'll hang up.
So that's the big point that Don Herold spends more than 10 minutes making. Of course, anybody with an ounce of sense knows that he doesn't know what he's talking about. Clearly, Mike Maloney is not talking about the fact that he's going to sell you silver for no price or any price, and he's going to buy it back from you for no price or any price. What he's talking about when he says price means nothing and value is everything is that he's telling you that silver is undervalued. In other words, any price that you get in the last couple years, yes, you might not pick the bottom. You might have bought silver at 35, you might have bought it at 45. But the point is that the value of silver is far, far, far higher than any price you paid in the last 10 years. So the value is what's important. And yes, you want to get the lowest price you can, but the most important thing is that you stack physical silver. Now, another thing that Don Herold goes on to imply is that Mike Maloney makes money whether the price is rising or falling. Well, that's true in the sense that Mike Maloney is out there selling his investment service, and if people buy into that, it doesn't matter what silver does. If they are following his investment advice and subscribing and buying through him, yes, he makes a profit. But if you listen to his videos and what he says, he tells you he doesn't want you to sell back your silver to him. He will buy it from you, but he does not want you to sell it to him. He does not want you to sell it to him until it is up in the triple or quadruple digits, and then he's recommending, and he says it many, many times, that he's recommending that you hold it until it's in the triple and quadruple digits. So for Don Herold to come out and a person who is a shill extraordinaire, a person who jumps from project to project and scam to scam, to come out and attack one of the men who has more integrity than just about anybody out there, Mike Maloney. It goes to show, what type of person he is, and it's frankly disgusting. But anybody who has any discernment really can see what's behind this. There's a lot of people, I'm not going to name names, but there's a lot of people. If you watch this video, there are other people mentioned in this video. There's a large number of people that are in the silver community that you would think, just like people like Rand Paul, perhaps, or people like Martin Armstrong, perhaps, or others, that you would think that their goal is to encourage people to stack physical silver and to help them become prepared for the future that's coming, like Mike Maloney. But in fact, many of these people are in fact plants, and they're there to discourage you at the right time, or to jump out at the right time and tell you all of a sudden, and all of you know, many of them who turned during the May breakdown, which is a coordinated attack by the federal government, by many, many insiders, by the bullion banks, by the CME, by the foreign exchanges, by all these people, was a coordinated attack, and the shills all turned at the same time, turned against silver. So it's pretty clear that Mike Maloney is out there telling you the truth and how to protect yourself, and there's a very large army of paid shills who have an interest in coming in and attacking the message. And let me say, it is the message, and the message is this. The question is it the message or the money? The message is about money, and the message is this: silver is money, and gold is money, and only gold and silver are money. That is the message, and that is the money. And we'll talk to you next time.